Welcome to the Hustle Wing podcast. Today we are joined by Stephen Turner, the CEO and founder of Turner Time Management. He's going to chat to us today about his company. We're going to get to know him a bit and just have a good time. So thank you so much for joining us today, Stephen. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Izzy. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, cool. So then tell me, what do you guys do at Turner Time Management?
Well, Turner Time is a company that was founded out of necessity almost 18 years ago. And what happened was I received an email from a customer who said, "Hey, did you get my email?" Or actually a phone call. And
Okay.
I don't know if anybody's ever asked you that question, "Did you get my email?" And I said, "Well, I think so." And my customer, who we had just recently acquired at this company, I was running the sales organization for called
Yeah.
Clover Technologies Group. He said,
Okay.
"Hey, Stephen, I sent you two emails on Friday. It's Tuesday morning. You haven't responded to either one." I told him I've been traveling on business, and he
Yeah.
said two words that changed my business career.
Okay.
He said, "So what?" He said, I don't really care." And I was floored when he said that. And then he asked me, "How many emails do you have in your inbox? And how did you treat other customers this way?"
Oh
And
my.
really kind of floored me. And
Yeah.
yeah, he really is. He really took me to task. And I
Oh.
realized, yeah, because you're sitting there working with this customer, new customer, everything
Hmm.
seems to be going fine, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden he said, "I don't care that you've been traveling or that you're
Yeah.
busy. I hired you to take care of my company, and
That's
you're
true.
not doing it." Yeah.
Yeah. That must have been tough to take.
Well, it was a wake up call, and
Yeah.
this was back in 2003.
Jeez.
And what I realized was that even though I had gone to school for computer programming and computer science, I
Hmm.
wasn't leveraging my phone and computer to save time.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah, and so he sent me a tape series by a man called David Allen who does something called Getting Things Done.
Okay.
And I listened to it. It was very Franklin Covey. There's one of the big sort of time management systems out there,
Yeah.
which I had been really familiar with and which had helped me. But it
Yeah.
really didn't help. The big problem I was having was the email and the technology piece, Izzy. I couldn't manage it. I was literally getting 300 emails a day, just overwhelmed.
Gee, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So then how did you sorry, continue.
No, no, no. So that's what. So then I think I was in the general manager's office. So I ran the sales organization. General
Hmm.
manager, his name was Jeffrey. I was in his office, and he was on the computer on his. He had a Windows-based laptop, and he was switching between screens as he was putting together a PowerPoint
Yeah.
presentation, kind of bouncing between two different presentation decks. And
Yeah.
I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm using Alt Tab." And I said, "What's that?" He said,
Yeah.
"Oh, you don't know about Alt Tab?" And I realized that you could kind of switch between screens. You can do that on a Mac too
Yeah.
with Command Tab.
Yeah.
And so, but anyways, I didn't realize what he was doing. Then my light bulb went off in my head, and I said, "Hmm." I said, "Wow, that looks like I'm not using my technology." So
Mm.
all these time management people
Hmm.
like this gentleman, David Allen, who had some great ideas, and Franklin Covey. They all
Yeah.
talked about how to manage your time better, but it
Yeah.
wasn't specifically regarding the technology.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that I discovered. So I
Yeah.
started looking at the computer and the smartphone differently. At
Hmm.
that time, it was something called a BlackBerry. And I started realizing there was all these tools built in that nobody knew about.
Yes.
Microsoft, Apple improving their products every day, but nobody knows about it. Because, Izzy, when you think about it, when's the last time you had any training on any of that type of thing?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not since
Probably
high school.
never. Yeah, yeah. So that's what created Turner Time Management. I trained a lot of people within the company. The
Okay.
president, a gentleman named Jim Sirkleski,
Uh-huh.
uh, really saw the change in productivity level of me and the teams
Wow.
that reported to me. So he
Yeah.
said, when I made the decision to leave, he said, "You know what? Before you leave, can you take this knowledge you have and share it with our entire company?" And so
Ooh,
that's what I did, and it gave me another opportunity to kind of refine my information and my abilities even more. And
yeah,
then, so that was 17 years ago when I started the company,
yeah.
and now here we are.
Love that. I feel like it's heaven sent that I'm speaking to you because I suck. I'm not so bad with emails, but I do suck with, time management, and my inbox is a hot mess. It's really bad. Um, so I'm glad that I found you because maybe I can get some tips. I just recently
Absolutely,
started
of course.
something because it's like, the new year, and I was like, I'm gonna be productive this year. So I love this.
I hear you. Yeah, no, and you're not alone, Izzy. So many
Yeah,
people are faced with that challenge, but the good news is there's a way out of that, and that's what
yeah.
I've found. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool, cool. I think I'll apply it to my personal emails because my work emails are not so bad. I get back to my work emails because if I don't, I'll die. But my
Right.
personal emails are a shambles. Wow. So
I've
I
got a
can't wait
million ways to do that. Yeah, there's some key things you can do, but yeah, that's great. I appreciate you
yeah,
sharing that with me. Yeah.
cool. So then yeah, what's your vision for Turner Time Management? What's the end goal?
Well, we're right now. Albert on my team is working on our new version website, which is going to be slightly different, called
Hmm.
TurnerTime.ai. We have a landing page there right now, but that's going to be built out quite a bit. And AI is a game changer in many ways. And I have to be frank with you. I had a lot of middling or sort of questionable results in my experiences with AI until
Mm-hmm.
recently. And I think that they've made some substantial improvements in the
Yeah.
algorithms and the way they're retrieving data. So I think AI is going to become a great tool. I don't think it's going to replace people, but I
Mm,
think it's going to make a job easier and more functional so that you can focus on the more intensive things.
yeah.
I would say there's cautions you have to have because it's not always right. You have to vet
Yeah.
it, if you will.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do think it's going to provide a lot of benefit. And so we're already using that right now. For instance, I do uh, tutorials, short tutorial videos that
Okay.
Albert puts together,
Mm-hmm.
and I tell him what the topic is and give him the data, and then he puts it together. And
Yeah.
then it has a video, but it's with my voice, but it's not me.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
AI. It's
Yeah.
AI doing the voice. So I'm saved from having to go through and record those videos, and
Mm-hmm.
yet it has my persona doing them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I love that you're leveraging. I love that you made it clear that like AI won't necessarily replace people, but can help people be better. I feel like that's been an ongoing stress for a lot of people. Like, oh my gosh, AI is gonna take my job, and it's
Right.
like it
Yeah.
doesn't have to. It could just make your life easier.
Well, it can, and it can, and certainly, it's just like when something came out, when the car came out. Certainly, that
Yes.
changed the nature of businesses. I'm not saying that there's things that are very repetitive that can be duplicated. Of course,
Yeah.
somebody should look to expand their skills
Yeah.
beyond that, so that
Yeah.
they have ability. And the one thing that's nice about AI is you don't have to have a programming background like me or
Exactly.
anything
Yeah.
like that to go ahead and use it. Yeah.
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 Awesome. Awesome. Cool. So then what are some of the challenges that you guys are facing at Turner Time Management at the moment?
As far as challenges, it's really just being good at time management. That's what we do, and
Yeah.
that's my focus. So, like, I have a webinar coming up in a couple hours with a company,
Cool.
and I had gone out to their facilities in Phoenix, and now we're doing some follow-up training. And
Yeah.
so, making sure you're staying fresh and you're engaging to draw your audience in, because people
Mm,
can't learn if they're not interested. They're not going to
true.
learn. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the biggest thing that I always have forefront of my mind is how do I keep people engaged to see that what I'm saying is not just words, it really
Yeah.
does work. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, there's so many different types of, time management falafels that people really kind of don't believe in it anymore. So
Right, right.
it must be hard to try and show that, like, this is legit, this works.
Well, and you know what? I'll tell you that just a great example of that. There's something psychological term is called a scotoma. I don't know if you've
Okay.
ever heard of it.
No.
It's a psychological blind spot, and I'll just give you one small example of how changing the paradigm, that's an overused word, but changing your mindset can make a big difference. Somebody says
Yes.
to you, "Hey, Izzy, you're over at a friend's house. Can you go in the kitchen and get the salt?" Let's say it's right on the counter. We
Yep.
redid the kitchen, but you can't miss it, Izzy. It's sitting right on the counter there, right
Yep.
next to the pepper. Can you go in and
Hmm.
get it and bring it into the dining room? You're like,
Yeah.
"Sure, I can't." But boy, you redid your kitchen. It looks really nice. No, but Izzy, you can't miss it. It's right there on the counter, Izzy. Right, and you're like, I don't see it. Where is it? And then they come in front of you. They go, "Oh, here." Have you ever
It's
had
right
that
there.
happen? Oh, here it is, Izzy. And you're like, "Oh, how did I miss that?"
I feel like moms have the incredible like gift of doing that.
Well, see, that's you created. You thought to yourself, "I can't find it. I'm disoriented in this new kitchen," or whatever the case may be, and so
Hmm.
you created temporarily. That is your reality.
Ah, okay.
So, in the same sense, if you tell yourself, "I can't manage my email, there's no way to be more effective, this is just the way it is,"
Yeah.
yeah,
Then
you've
you'll
kind
just
of
put
put
it in
that, yeah. And I can tell you,
there.
I've worked with people from 20 to 75, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
Everybody can be more productive if they'll give themselves an opportunity to look at it a little bit different way.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, cool. So then I guess lastly, what sort of assistance would you like from our community?
Well, if anybody is struggling or challenged with managing their time overall, or what do I do next, or how do I make sure I'm doing what's right doing next? Many people
Yeah,
start off with a to-do list. I have a new tool here called the
yep,
Remarkable, which is for taking notes, right? It's
yep,
so some people start on there and they get 5 things on the list, and now it's 3 o'clock and they got 20 things on the list and
yep,
nothing got done. So if anybody's facing that challenge, or they're getting constantly interrupted and they're having a hard time staying
mm,
on track, we have strategies and ways, Izzy, to help bridge that so they
yeah,
literally can change their productivity. And for the most people that work with us, they're usually saving, after our training and coaching, an hour or two a day per employee.
wow,
Yeah.
wow, that's so precious. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. So then, you said you mentioned that you were starting, Turner Time Management AI.
Yep.
And you've got a landing page there. So then what does that project entail? Like what's the difference between that and what you're doing now?
Yeah, well, the difference is that they're starting to build a lot of these tools into Microsoft 365, what used to be
Yeah,
called Microsoft Office or Google Workspace, and
yeah,
so, but it's really hard to go just jump into AI without
yeah,
being able to manage your time already.
yeah,
So I think it's folly to think that if you just, "Oh, well, AI will fix all my problems with me and manage my time."
yeah.
There's elements it can do that for, but I think we're being foolish if we think generative AI, which basically at its core is really a next word predictor, is going to be
Hmm.
able to manage your time as effectively as you, if you have the right tools. And
Yeah,
so we see a kind of a transition to help those people that are looking for additional ways to be more productive, to kind of continue to grow in that area.
yeah.
And that's where I think AI, you've got to be careful, because it can replace your thinking. I mean, you literally can ask it to
Mm,
do many things,
yeah,
and you could start to kind of, you rely on it too much if you weren't careful. So I think it's
yeah,
a balance, Izzy, and I think a foundation of having a good time management system
yeah.
is more important than just jumping into AI and thinking it's going to fix everything. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
understand. Yeah. Okay, so then would you be open to hearing from pitches of members in our community that would be able to assist you maybe in building that or the marketing side, for example?
Sure, yeah. I'd be interested in hearing what people had to offer. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, cool, cool. And do you have like how do you implement it? So if a new business reaches out to you and says, I'd love for you to come teach my people, is it just you who goes? So you like schedule that, or do you
Yeah,
have like
that's a
sorry.
great question. Right now, since pandemic, it's basically me
Yeah,
and Albert in the other part of the world. But
yeah.
I am really the coach and trainer. So I have a couple different ways I train. I train
Yeah.
one on one. I do a program called executive coaching where I work one on one with an executive over a 4 month period to
Mhm.
transform the way they are working with their technology, and not just for themselves, but also people potentially on their team. And then we
Yeah.
also do in-person sessions. Like I just mentioned, I was
Okay.
in Phoenix a few weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
And then we also do training online. Like we have something
Mhm.
called our upskilling bootcamp program,
Mhm.
which is designed to help people overall increase their productivity, whether they be Microsoft 365,
Yeah.
iPhone users, Apple, Google
Yeah.
Workspace. I'm platform agnostic when it comes to that, so we
Okay.
can work with all sorts of those things. So those are the basic ways we work with people and organizations.
Okay, all right. So in the future, would you be open to maybe, branching out and having coaches coach for you, or are you looking to just keep it as Stephen Turner?
No, no, we're talking about franchising the operation because it's repeatable.
Okay.
And
Yes.
and after doing it as long as I have, we've really got a good system, quote
Yeah.
secret sauce that we can certainly help provide across the country and the globe. So
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
Okay, great, great. Well, thank you so much for your time, Stephen. Thank you for joining us and being so open to hearing from the community. You'll definitely be hearing, from us again soon. And I wish you all the best. And I promise I'll do a little bit of stalking because I do need to get better at my at my managing of time. So I
Just
take it.
Steve at turnertime.ai. Just drop me an email. Happy to help.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Then have a great day.
You too, Izzy. Been a pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.